She was only called to clean the wedding hall. Mop water shone on marble before any royal guest. Amaka scrubbed corners titles never noticed.
Contract said clean. It never said catch falling gold.
Her torque wrench waited clipped at her hip.
A ceremonial chest lid shuddered on weak hinges. Gold paint could not hide soft, rotten wood. The hinge trembled under weight and pride.
Amaka saw danger before anyone heard danger.
Beauty without strength was already failing.
Somebody clear the space. Amaka, leave it! No. You, away from the chest. Folake waved workers away like dust. I am not workers. Away, now. Leave it, she snapped, as wood already cracked. Back away from it, now! I know what I'm doing. Status hated the hands that could save it. Get away from there, you don't belong here. I need to secure this before it falls. Leave the chest alone, Amaka. I told you not to touch it. The hinge is coming loose, Folake. I can fix it now.
Hold still. The hinge is failing under gold.
No, I have it. I'll hold it. Just get help.
Look out! Amaka, are you all right?
Move.
Now. The coveralls tore at the sleeve under strain.
Watch out.
Watch out. Are you all right? Coveralls tore at the sleeve under strain. I've got it. I have it. It's heavy, but I caught it. Folake exploded at so-called useless workers. This is unacceptable. Find out what happened immediately.
Folake, tell me the truth. What did you really see?
I told those useless workers exactly what to do. Now look at these. Tell me the truth.
About what happened, Folake?
Why can't you just understand I'm right about them?
Stop talking, just tell me. Not a smile. Tell me the truth.
You useless workers always mess things up. Who's responsible for this?
Folake, just tell me the truth. Did you cause this?
You useless workers. Just tell me the truth. Amaka stood with wood dust on her palms. Honest hands waited while insult filled the hall. How could you let this happen? You and your useless workers.
Folake, tell me the truth.
Screws bent, wood soft. They decorated weakness.
These screws bent, and the wood is incredibly soft.
This is unacceptable.
They painted gold over rot and called it perfect.
The screws are bent, and the wood is so soft, it won't hold.
You're right, this is worse than I thought.
Amaka showed the truth with a quiet wrench. These screws are bent. See how soft the wood is? It's all compromised.
I see it. Thank you, Amaka.
Deo listened like a student, not a prince.
See here? The screws are bent, and the wood's too soft. It's the wrong material. That's alarming. We need to fix this immediately. The screws here are bent, and the wood is soft. This won't hold.
You're right. I see it now. Thank you, Amaka. Competence spoke louder than any fitting gown.
He hired her privately to rebuild what gold hid. Fair wages, real hinges, no bridal theater.
Amaka signed work, not a romance contract.
Respect started where spectacle had failed.
She built what lasts, not what only shines.
Dio learned wood does not flatter princes.
Hidden heart mark stayed under honest grain.
Lunch breaks tasted like earned quiet pride.
Bond grew through labor, never through pity.
She caused the accident to stay near him. Why would I do that? I need this job. Exactly. You need him. You need everything. I don't need this. Accident became a weapon aimed at Amaka. You did this to me. I had nothing to do with it. Rehearsal smiles turned into public poison. Look at this. Your tool caused the damage. That's absurd. I was nowhere near. Amaka held her wrench and refused to beg.
Rumor tried to rename her as a climber.
She kept rebuilding while her name burned.
Safety notebook pages stayed clean and true. Dignity does not argue with loud gowns.
Amaka worked. That was her only answer.
Chest arrived defective before Amaka's shift.
Talk logs proved the hinge was already dying. Prior invoices showed rushed gold over soft wood.
Inspector Kohler stamped truth onto paper.
Evidence arrived quieter than Follake's blame.
The cleaner prevented injury. Bride demanded gold.
I will not go through with this punishing performance.
Then pay me the gold I am owed.
I will not marry a performance that punishes.
But how?
I will not marry a performance that punishes.
Honest hands will not be framed for my wedding. I cannot go through with this.
You dare challenge this. You will regret this.
No, my part is my own.
I cannot marry a performance. My heart is not for sale.
You dishonor your family, Dayo. This is unacceptable.
No. I cannot marry a punishing performance, Lady Follake. It isn't right.
But it is tradition, Dayo. You dishonor us.
Forced promise cracked under safety stamps.
Follake walked out of rehearsals without apology. Ivory train dragged insult behind her heels. Cameras lost their favorite bride in one turn. Pride left louder than any hinge ever fell.
The hall felt honest once the performance left.
Vendor contract for structural royal event pieces.
Crown found you while hunting a perfect prop.
This contract ensures our collaboration benefits both the palace and the community, Prince.
I agree. Your
Job on paper. Heart asked separately, without leverage. Amaka listened with dignity, not hunger. I know this is a big step, but I believe in your honest pursuit. Will you take this vendor contract?
Contract on paper. Date only if honesty stays. I am only dating you if honesty stays. Yes. I agree.
Date only if the hinge stays honest.
I need you to be truthful with me. And so do you.
Equal beginning. No purchased forever tonight.
This is equal. I understand. No purchase made.
You must choose the wrench or the crown.
The crown means nothing without truth. Dayo nodded. Truth before any crown claim.
Rebuilt chest stood strong without false gold.
Torque wrench rested like a finished promise.
Amaka wore vendor badge over simple dress.
Dio's jacket stayed open. No fiancé sash. Beauty without strength failed. Honesty remained.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 81. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 82. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 83. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 84. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 86.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 87.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 88. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 89. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 91.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 92. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 93. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 94.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 95.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 96.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 98. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 99. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 100. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 101. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 102. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 103.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 104.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 105. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 106.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 107.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 108.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 109. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 110. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 111. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 112.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 114.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 115.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 116. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 117. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 118.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 119.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 120. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 121. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 122. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 123. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 124. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 125.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 126.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 128. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 129. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 130. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 131. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 132. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 133. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 134. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 136. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 137.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 138.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 139. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 140. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 143. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 145. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 146. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 147. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 148. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 149. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 152. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 155.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 157. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 158. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 159. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 160.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 162.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 163. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 164.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 165.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 166. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 167. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 169. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 170. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 171.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 172.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 174. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 175. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 177. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 178. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 179. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 180.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 181. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 182.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 183.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 186.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 187.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 188.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 189. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 190. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 191. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 192. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 193. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 194. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 197.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence. Beat 199.
Amaka checks another honest hinge in silence.